Kane, it's 1-0. We're fucking down. 13th in the championship. The takeover happened as I said it would. People will be. Oh, when have we got Leeds? Now then, people, and welcome back to the Just Joe Football Show, and time for, a championship chat. I've been really excited about this show, to be honest. Championship top four, Leeds. Oh, I'll do it in the correct order for the benefit of locks. Leicester, Leeds, Ipswich, and Southampton. I think now is a good time to have a chat about it because obviously there's been some amazing form by some dips by others. And we're in the running, really. There isn't too long to go. I think Leeds United have got like 3 games in 6 days after this FA Cup. So they're knocking them off quick, you know. Before you know it, it'll be the end of the season. So I just wanted to have a chat with some content creators and fans of these clubs to find out where their head's at. Obviously, I've been pretty confident throughout to say that Leeds would go up. I just wanted to get other people's opinions on that and find out what's going on at their football clubs because I mean I've been throwing shade naturally, but it's all part of the game, isn't it? Let's have a little chat with some content creators and get their opinions on Leeds United and obviously where their heads at. So we've got Benjamin Bloom, who you know. Please do go check him out if you haven't already. I know he gets a lot of love from you folks. Anyway, we've got Benjamin Bloom, who is an Ipswich fan, for anyone who don't know. So let me welcome him first and foremost. I love the lighting, by the way, Ben. It's really nice. Yeah,
I wanted to pick the most triggering colour for everyone, so I went for pink tonight. Joe, I am a middleweight amongst heavyweights, so you can see where I'm pitching myself in this conversation. Lovely to be here.
Yeah, I love that. So from a middleweight then to what you would consider a heavyweight, especially with the way they've led from the front, is our good friend Locks, who's been on here many times, representing Leicester. Lachlan, how you doing, my man? All good?
Yeah, mate. It was.
Are you over Friday yet? Can I ask you that? Are you over Friday yet?
I mean, it ruined the weekend. That's the bad thing about a Friday game. It's, you know, at least on a Saturday, it only ruins Saturday afternoon, Sunday, but Friday it kind of ruined the whole weekend. So, not the best of weekends, mate. But you know, we carry on. It's been like this, you know, ups and downs for years as Leicester fans, and for all of us, it's been ups and downs. So, yeah, 100%. We carry on.
Yeah, we do. I hear you though. Friday night games. I was talking at this even with my friends before the game started. Like Friday night games do really have the power to ruin or have a great weekend. Like for us, it was content all night, and then on Saturday, and I'll move on over, we had Southampton dropping points, so it got even better. Ipswich as well. That was the midweek game, weren't it? When Rotherham came back, and it's just like everything seems to be falling into place for Leeds United right now. I can't lie. But let's go to Liam anyway. How are you, mate? Obviously, not in the best run of form right now, considering what you were doing before that. So how are you, Liam?
Yeah, obviously I'm alright, but with Saints at the moment not too great. But I mean, I'm considering the last few results and still like really proud of the team of what it's been doing this season, considering how bad we quite started. So I think for us to even be talking about promotion, like I said at the start of the season, playoffs, I'd have took it. So I'm still pretty happy, but obviously the last few games not been too great.
I love that, mate. That's pretty level-headed. I wish all them Saints fans online were like that, bro, but they're not. But no, that's pretty level-headed. What I wanted to do then is just, I've sort of pre done some questions, and I am going to start with you, Liam, because obviously I think you went on was it 23 game unbeaten run? Was it?
It was 22 in the league, then obviously 25 in all competitions.
Right. Okay. So 22 games unbeaten, and this is where I do sort of feel harsh for you, really, because to think that a team's gone 22 games unbeaten in the league, and at the time before you, I think you were third behind us. Obviously, we played 2 games in hand. You're now in 4th after such a great run. I know it's dipped of late, but How does that feel, buddy? Because I know as Leeds fans, like, we look at the table and think, well, if this were last season, we'd be top. If it were the season before, we'd be top at a canter. And it's just madness that us 4 teams have done as well. But how does it feel from a Saints perspective?
It's frustrating because, I mean, we've broken the club record, we've broken like a lot of championship records, and I mean, to still be 4th against, like, obviously Ipswich coming up from League One, and you think, Jesus Christ, what a team they are. Then Leicester and Leeds coming down, and it's crazy, honestly. Like, the only problem is I think we drew too many games, and we drew a lot of games where we should have won. And I think if you look at it in perspective, if we won at least four more of those games, that's 12 more points, and we're up with Leicester. So it's like that's the only thing you can look at frustrating. But I think recently we kind of let ourselves down with proving that we really struggle without Flynn Downs. I think that's been the key. It's kind of looking like, are we a one-man side now because we play a lot better when he's fit, and obviously he's been injured for the last 4 games and we've had 3 losses. So I mean, it's frustrating, but it just shows how competitive the championship is. And I'll tell you what, even though we're 4th now, I absolutely love it.
Really?
Honestly.
I love that.
It's like seeing Leeds when you think, for Christ's sakes, in Ipswich, you think they're drawing 3-0 to Rotherham, then a minute later they're winning.
I know.
And like Leicester lost 2 in a row, and they're still like 6 points clear. And you think, what is this? What is this league? If we were in it last year, we'd be cruising it. And you think, I mean, I don't know if we don't go up, we don't go up. But I think it's probably the best season in the Championship we ever see, 100%.
Yeah, it's up there. And interesting you say that. Let's talk. Let's talk to Benjamin about that, because if anyone knows the Championship, then Ben knows the Championship, right? To see Southampton do as well as they have, Ben, and then you look like he's just mentioned there, Liam, about, you know, I was rejoicing. I think it was Wednesday night, and then you went and scored, Ben, straight after. I was like putting out the Chuckle Brother memes and stuff, thinking, go on there, the Chuckle Brothers, big Rotherham fans, of course, and then obviously you went and scored. So it is a mad season, right, Ben, to think that the pace that's being set right now.
Oh, it's absolutely unprecedented. And just to be completely self-aware, we were really lucky against Rotherham. They battered us for I know it's ridiculous, you're at home to bottom of the league. They played 2 up front, pressed the hell out of us, played nice and direct, and really did not deserve to lose that game. But you know what it's like, don't you, when you've got the winning muscle memory, and that comment's exactly right down at the bottom there. When you've got the winning muscle memory, and you can't afford not to win in this race, and it's going to be just an unprecedented total. I remember, say, 7 or 8 years ago, it was Brighton, Newcastle, and Middlesbrough, I think, and the 3 of them were just miles clear. We never get 4 teams miles clear, and if everyone projects the last 12 games, Leicester have got 105, Ipswich and Leeds have got 97.4, and Saints have just dropped below the 2 points per game now, so they've got 90. So it's just a absolutely insane season. And the lads who support Leicester and Saints will know better than me. They've absolutely bullied the bottom half, just completely demolished and just taken points off everyone. And then Leeds up at the top have obviously like doubled Ipswich and doubled Leicester. So there's this weird like 12 points come out of those 2 teams there, and all gone to Leeds in that respect. And my lot, just incredibly, and people get pissed off at me, I keep saying this, we were in League One last year and we don't have a year 1 parachute payment and a squad full of really good players. It's just insane that if we were 20 points behind you lot, we'd be doing all right. And, you know, to be 5 ahead of Southampton, only one of these 3 teams got more points than Ipswich, which is just absolutely crazy. But I will stand aside and let the others have their say.
Yeah, no, fair, mate. You made some great points. But listen, I'm just going to dip back to Liam. Obviously, Russell Martin, people are mentioning it in the chat. We had a little brief chat before. You seem level-headed. Maybe a lot of Saints fans are level-headed. I almost look at Russell Martin now and think he is not level-headed, and he almost looks to me like he might have lost his head a little bit, just with his post-match reaction and the build-up to the West Brom game. Then the West Brom game comes, they get a great result. He's sat in the studio giving it the big one. For me personally, I know, like, he's your manager and you're going to back him to the hill. I get that, as I would Farker, but for me, I'm like, yeah, I can't stick this guy. Then, after Millwall, and I know that their keeper will have been taking the piss. No, this is Neil Harris. Like, it's a game that worries me. We've got him in a few weeks, and I was like, oh, not Neil Harris as Millwall, please. And that's what they do, right? And I know it's frustrating as a fan, but I would expect my manager to maybe not react like that. How does it feel in the Saints camp, Liam? Like, do people look at it and think, oh, hang on a minute? You know, because I almost felt he was harsh on the players after going 25 games unbeaten in all competitions to then say, oh, they stopped doing what I just felt, hang on a minute, man. They've gone 25 games unbeaten. You need to relax a little bit. What's the general consensus from Saints fans?
It does seem to look like he's lost his head a bit. Totally understand where Saints fans come from, where the opposition fans come from. But I think any type of game, you get frustrated. And I think when you're so proud of the boys to go 25 unbeaten and they've gone back to the old ways, it's not nice to see. And it's so unlike Russell to be that way. Because even when we lost 4 in a row, he was still calm about it, trust the process. But I think he's become kind of more frustrated with himself because in the previous games that we've played, we've always had a tactical plan. We've always been, even if we've struggled, we've always been able to grab a goal or two. And it seems like the Bristol City game, the West Brom game, we were fantastic. We outclassed them tactics-wise, but just seemed to lost it against Hull and Millwall. I mean, we're conceding sloppy goals. He's getting really frustrated, and that's first thing he comes out with the interviews after the game going sloppy. And I mean, all the Saints fans can see it. I think a lot of the boys are tired, and I mean, I still absolutely love the guy. He got us 25 unbeaten, and I think 67 points any other season. Like you say, you're controlling it. And it's just unfortunate we've got 3 other top teams in the league. And to me, I think a lot of Saints fans were controversial when he first come in. Obviously, has he really done it with Swansea? No, but he's played great football. He's finally got like a decent squad. And, I mean, I'm still pretty happy with it. I think he's lost his head. It's not really something that Russell would do, and not something that we'd really expect from him. But I think when you're really frustrated against a team like Millwall, who really we should have won about 5-3 or 4-1. You know what I mean? But any other day we lose 2-1 like we did. So I don't know. I think he's going to be all right. It's just more the fact we've played about 9 games this month, more than any other team. Tuesday, Friday, Saturday, Wednesday. We got another game Wednesday against Liverpool. Then we got Birmingham Saturday, then Preston Wednesday. I mean, we haven't had a break for about a good 2 months. So I think just a bit frustrated, and I think, it just hasn't been a month, so we just got to kind of regroup and maybe shock a few people on Wednesday.
Yeah, I hear you in the games because we've got Chelsea, and then it's just back to back.
You're in the Championship, lads.
Exactly.
46 games, mate. Don't moan about it. That's the deal. This ain't no 38 game cakewalk Premier League season. Come on, you lot.
I love that. Well, see if you're saying this when you get promoted, Ben. You'll be like, oh, I don't mind these 38.
A season ticket's only got 8 games less, then, hasn't it? Joe, can I just make a couple of reply to a couple of the comments? One of the comments said Ipswich promoted from League One but have Premier League loanees. Just absolute nonsense, that comment. The 11 top minute makers at Ipswich were all in League One last year. The 4 Premier League loanees. Amari Hutchinson made 9 starts. Okay, Moore 5 starts, and he was only brought in because George Hurst is out for the season. Sarmiento 2 starts, Williams 2 starts. And someone also said Ipswich have an easy run-in. I would like them to put that next to Leeds run-in and then tell me whose is easier. And put it next to Southampton's, who've got by far the hardest one as well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, big time.
Ben coming with the receipts there, so make sure you come correctly in the chat.
I've got that receipt reel thing. It's like 5 meters long, and they just keep coming and coming.
I love that. Right, Locks. I want to get your opinion on Russell Martin because we've had a chat sort of offline about him briefly. And what do you make to his reaction after Millwall? I haven't asked Ben. I'll come back to Ben after. But what do you reckon to it, mate? I think it looks like heads lost moment for me.
Yeah, I know you mentioned that you're shocked. I'm not shocked one bit. I thought he is the kind of personality who would have a head loss. I mean, I heard stories. I've got a few friends that are Swansea fans. One of them is a content creator, and they told me that Russell Martin was actually once in his DMs because of videos that he was putting up about Russell Martin, slagging Russell Martin off, and Russell Martin was in the DMs. And I think as well, I can't remember the chap we had on at the start of the season, Joe, the Southampton fan. Is it Jack?
Yes, Jack. Jack. Yeah.
He said he went
Match
to a meet and greet or a questions and answer night, Q&A night.
It was a tactical evening, basically after we had a few losses. They went and did a tactical evening in St Mary's, which was actually quite fascinating, into the professionals of like, and obviously after we did that tactical evening, we went 25 unbeaten. So it's like, I think you all have different, like everyone's gonna have different opinions. I could ask lots after. I mean, everyone's seen the video over Twitter after Leicester won 3-1 against Swansea, and everyone was leaving. Apparently, booing Enzo, and you're top of the league or something. And
go on,
no, it's not like calling anyone. But
I know, I'm joking.
It's so frustrating because everyone sees the outspective debate, and no one really appreciated us going 25 unbeaten. I mean, and I think it got underappreciated a lot because obviously Leicester been absolutely incredible. Leeds just don't stop winning. Ipswich coming from League One and literally dominating the Championship, and everyone's gone, like, it's only Saints, you know what I mean? But I think it's still like disrespectful from Russ and stuff like that. And I think I don't mind seeing something like that. I think it just shows he's passionate. It just shows he cares. Like, I know a lot of other managers would be like, "Oh, don't really care." You know what I mean? Loss or loss, but you can tell it really gets to him because we see a lot of his interviews. He goes, "I don't sleep. All I think about is winning," and that's just kind of the elite mentality you want. And obviously, you'll see at the end of the season where we end up and where Ipswich leads. There's still a lot of games left. It just feels like, you know, we'll concentrate on our own football, and other people can think what they want to think.
Yeah,
love that, Liam. Did you have it? What did you want to go on? What were you going to say, Locks?
No, I was just going to say, mate, it doesn't surprise me. I think he's a emotional guy, right? And it's a good thing, and it has its bad moments as well. I think after a loss, it can go a bit wrong sometimes, and obviously that's what happened. But if you're winning, games like they were, and you see him going up to the crowd and giving it the Jurgen Klopp fist bumps and all that, it looks good, doesn't it? So
don't you mean the Daniel Farke fist bumps, mate? That's what they Klopp copied Farke.
Daniel Farke just jazz hands. I don't know about.
Hey! That's it.
You got to give him a W for that one.
Yeah, definitely. I love that. I do. Yeah, he got them wrong the other day as well. Like, he mistimed them. He went with a fist and then was like, "Oh no!"
What I love about him is how he pretends to be all, "Oh, I don't really want to do it," and then he's right over in there every time. And he bloody loves it, doesn't he?
He does, man. He does. Ben, before we move on from Southampton, just slightly, do you have any thoughts on? Because you're the wealth of knowledge when it comes to the Championship. You'll know Russell Martin when he was at Swansea and stuff. Have we seen this sort of behaviour before? But then again, Swansea haven't really been where Southampton have, right?
We've not seen the kind of petulant side. Yeah. We've seen the other side, the kind of slightly, am I talking from a coaching textbook type sort of narrative. The problem Russ Martin's got is his MK Dons side was really good to watch, but finished like 9th or something, or I don't know the numbers. Someone will correct me in the chat. And then Liam Manning got them 3rd next season. And at Swansea, I do agree that ownership is hard to work with, but he still had some good players. And you got Piru there now, Joe, and I think it was bottom half and then right slap bang in the middle. And when I look at the 4 managers, obviously Daniel Farke is as proven as you can possibly be. He's literally won the title twice in the Championship. Other than Neil Warnock, 20 years younger, there is no more proven kind of championship, or Mick McCarthy 15 years ago or something. Maresca, okay, we don't know. It's his first season, but he's got this sort of amazing squad. McKenna's done fantastically, but first season in the championship. So the problem Martin has got is it's the same problem all three of your managers have got, is that if you don't go up, it's essentially a failure. And that sounds very binary and very hyping it up. But you are heavyweights in a pool of middleweights like Ipswich. And with respect to Rotherham, who we struggled to beat massively, some featherweights down the bottom. So that's the difficulty. I know fans, you get the social media clip and he doesn't shake hands with the Millwall keeper and it doesn't look great. It's just a frustration at the end of the game. But, you know, it is bubbling and it is building, isn't it? And, we'll see if he has a Kevin Keegan moment towards the end of the season.
That last game at Ellen Road, that'll be the one.
Oh,
if
my
he's going to
God.
have a moment, it will come at that game, I think.
Is it not going to be too late, though, Joe?
I did say a couple of weeks back, before the game in hand, I think it could be sewn up by then anyway. I don't think it'll have any bearing on the season, I think. Liam, what do you think, actually, just on that? You know, that last game, because Leeds fans, probably Southampton fans as well, were building this up as that will be the game that whoever wins will secure top two. Obviously, there's a gap now, and listen, could change. We might get beat by Huddersfield, Millwall, and it could change. But I now look at that and think, I think it'll be sewn up. Your way, our way, Ipswich way, whoever's way, before that game anyway. I don't see it going that deep into the season. What are your thoughts, mate?
No, I do agree. I think it will be wrapped up by then. I think, obviously, it'll be probably us Leeds or up by then. I kind of want that as well. I'd rather.
You want that game at Easter, don't you?
Yeah, exactly. Like, you kind of want that game wrapped up. Like, you either think if we're in playoffs and we can't go up, rest players for the playoffs, or if we're up, then we're up. I mean, you can't, because the last place I want to go is if we need to win the league, need to go up. Ellen Road. It'd be written in the stars if Leeds go on beating all season at home and we go to their place and end up winning 1-0. And that's exactly that's what you dream of. But I don't think that'll be the case. I do think it will be probably Leicester and Leeds up by then. Even though I think us and Ipswich will give a great run to the end of the season.
100%. Yeah, I think that last game, it would be great. I mean, it would be great for Sky and everything. My only thing with that, and I said this as well, like I think whoever was to say, if that was a straight shootout, whoever was to lose in that game, I don't think goes up through the playoffs, because I think the mental fortitude it would take to then get that off your back and then get ready for the playoffs, 2 legs, and then the final. I just think if it did come to that, whoever lost on that day, I don't think they go up. But yeah, like you say, hopefully by then it's already locked off. Ben, you mentioned obviously if any of our clubs outside of Ipswich don't go up, it would be deemed a failure. I wanted to ask you.
Do you agree? Do you agree with that?
No, I agree, 100%. Yeah, I don't disagree with you, mate. For sure. You just to look at the quality of the squad, the performances throughout the season for all our clubs at stages has shown that we're far superior than the majority of the teams. So I do agree with you. But I know I spoke to you earlier on in the season, just happy where you were. I get it. Has that changed? Has the narrative changed a little bit? It's like, well, we're in this position now, so is it a failure if we did miss out? Or are you still like, listen, we're little old Ipswich, we're riding the crest of the wave? And I mean that with the best intentions, by the way, because I know you've got history and you've been in the Premier League, you've won stuff.
No, you're good, man. You're good.
Yeah, I get that. I didn't want you coming for receipts for me, mate, that's all. But would it be considered a bottle job, as we like to say on social media, if you were to miss out?
No, of course it wouldn't. You know, what are you bottling? And when you throw in with the squads and the financial advantage, the fact that the 2 lads down there, their teams have been relegated after being in the Premier League for 8 and 11 years, and there's 2 teams in the Premier League who've been charged with FFP infractions. It's even more kind of doped up at the top end this year. Look, it's definitely not a bottling. That would be so unfair to suggest. To your question, Joe, there's an emotional answer and a sensible answer. The emotional answer is when you're level on points with Leeds United with 12 games to go and 5 above Southampton, you're thinking, come on. And if you look at how the Ipswich fixtures go, the next 5 are okay, and then it gets really stiff in April. But me, and I bet you guys as well, all season have been, okay, Ipswich will fall away now. Ipswich will fall away now. Next month, Ipswich will, and I'm as amazed as anyone. They're still there. So the emotional answer is, of course, it would be disappointed. You're in this chance of a million, and then you know what it's like. Playoff losers last year: Middlesbrough, Akpom out, Ramsey out, Archer out, Giles out, Coventry, Hamer out, Gyökeres out. You know your team is getting broken up if you have a amazing season and you lose in the playoffs. So the emotional answer is, yeah, it would be disappointing. But the sensible answer is, look at the 3 teams we're up against. Look at the situation with FFP in the Premier League and parachutes and the amazing squads that all you guys have got. And sometimes, this is a quote I've been saying all season, Joe, sometimes a poker player can play his hand perfectly and still lose.
Yeah. This is true. And you mentioned there about players going. But I guess the key one for you is Kieran McKenna, right? Like, regardless of any players, he's the man. Obviously, you've got decent recruitment strategy. Things are looking good behind the scenes. You've done it on next to nothing. I agree with what you were saying earlier about these Premier League Lordinis and stuff. Kieran McKenna's the big one, though, because he was linked to Palace. I think had Hodgson not fell ill, I think they'd have gone for him in the summer. But because he fell ill, they wanted something sooner, so they got their new manager in. But Kieran McKenna, for me, is the next one to be given an opportunity in the Premier League. So if Ipswich don't go up, do you think he leaves for a lower end Premier League side when the opportunity arrives, or someone texts him?
It just depends on the timing, doesn't it? So you look at, we literally look at every job now that comes up, and you look at Liverpool and you go, so if Liverpool took the Brighton boss, would Brighton want McKenna? And then you look at Moyes at West Ham and you think, if he's done at the end of the season, I think you can't be lots of football fans try this and speak out of both sides of their mouth and, go into this cognitive dissonance and delude themselves. You can't sit there on the one hand and say, hang on a minute, this guy's got a load of League One players. Yes, we had loads of money by League One standards. Yeah, we get it. We don't buy Championship standards. But you can't on the one hand say this guy's, and you had it with Bielsa, didn't you, Joe, where all of a sudden Luke Aylin's the best right back in the league, and amazing, Stuart Dallas is playing like Pirlo or whoever, and okay, he has Hernandez and whoever, but where the manager just makes all the players look so much better, and even those Premier League loanees, and Chelsea are going to get Amari Hutchinson back better than when he came. He's developed beautifully, and we all remember Sam Morsey being a bit of a hatchet man, shite house, Championship midfielder, and he's bossing it now. So you can't on the one hand say he's great but he's never going to leave, and no Premier League club's going to be interested in him. So it just depends on the timing. And my club, Joe, has been, and no disrespect, you can empathise with this, my club's been crap for 20 years. And he will go with my absolute blessing, because we've been bloody brilliant for about 18 months, 2 years now. And it's so good. And if he's as good as we think he is, then he's better than Ipswich, and his ceiling's going to be way above what we can do.
You have to just remind yourself, don't you? Like, enjoy it while it's here. Enjoy it while it's here. Enjoy the football. Enjoy the results, because football is fleeting. I try and say this a lot of the times. If you're not one of the top 6, don't have bags and bags of money. It comes and goes. Leicester can be a testament to that. They won the Premier League. They won the FA Cup. Now they're in the Championship. Do you know what I mean? We were in the Champions League. We're now in the Championship. We've all done things. And, when you're not bankrolled by, billionaire states and stuff, these things happen. So you have to enjoy your wins when you can. I think McKenna, listen, I've been really impressed with him. And outside of Farker, I rate him the most. That's just my opinion. No shade on the other two.
Corberon at West Brom, considering the chaos there, I think deserves a shout as well, Joe.
Yeah, for sure. And I think, and I've said this before as well, Ben, in a one-off game, in a one-off shootout, For me,
don't want to go against them, do you?
No, exactly. That's the thing. That's why I was surprised Southampton beat them when they did, because I was convinced West Brom would win that game. I think he's so good. He's so good. He's Corberan, and maybe at a better club with a bit, when it's not chaos behind the scenes. Well, they've got new owners now, actually, so it might change for the better, mightn't it? Locks, let's come to you then. Leicester City. Is the points record still on first and foremost? Because you've been pretty consistent with that throughout.
Yeah. The funny thing is, mate, on Friday when we recorded our video, I said Leicester could lose the next 4 in a row and still break the points record, and now we've lost 2 in a row. So I hope I didn't jinx something there. But yeah, obviously it's still doable. Leicester and Leeds could both do it. You never know in this crazy season. I'd say no. I'd say we're not going to do it now because we need to win 10 of the last 12, right? So it's not looking on. But yeah, you never know, mate. You never know. Like I said, I said to you before, like 2 teams could easily get 100 points. 2 teams could break the points record. It's doable, and that's ridiculous, really. 2 teams breaking the points record, but it looks, I wouldn't say likely, but it looks more than possible for sure.
And before I came on, I was listening on my way back from the gym. I was listening to the Not Top 20 pod, and they put forward this notion that potentially it's not just a title race anymore, it's a top 2 race. Now, George Ellick, I think, disagreed, but I just thought it'd be a decent discussion point. As a Leicester fan, obviously leading for so long and being in front, let's not forget on the 12th of Jan, I think the gap was 17 points. It's now the 26th, and it's 26th of February, and it's now 6. So, that is such a wild turnaround.
Well, that shows how good Leeds have been because, 100%. I mean, we've only
Agreed.
Yeah, we only dropped points in obviously the last 2 games, and then Ipswich and Coventry. So they're the only games that we've dropped points in, and you've clawed back so many points, 11 points since then. So that just shows how good you've been.
Are you? Oh, thank you for that, mate. You're not normally you're not normally like that. I'll take that. No. I will clip that now. And whenever you're nasty about it, I'll just replay it to you.
Friday.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, football's a humbler, as they say. Yeah. Are you worried though, mate? Because look, I still think you'll be okay, and I think the others probably might agree. We will ask them after. But as a Leicester fan, are you worried? Obviously, we've spoken offline. You mentioned bottling top 4 under Brendan Rodgers, all this sort of stuff. Every football fan has history in the playoffs, has history of bottling things, and we go, yeah, but it's Leeds United, yeah, but it's Leicester, and we always struggle. Are you looking at it or are you genuinely worried? That's
the only thing that worries me, mate, is history. And I know when I say history, I'm only talking about 2 years, those 2 years under Brendan Rodgers, where we spent more time in the top 4 than any other team in the Premier League. For 2 years, and both times we finished 5th. And and it's just, there's just something still. We concede a lot of late goals, and that only kind of enhances the thought, plants the seed a little bit more. That is there still a problem there, mentality wise? And I think we were quite optimistic at the start of the season because one of the main things Enzo spoke about in his first few interviews was about his aim of. His priority was to change the mentality at the club, the players, the staff, everything, the fans, and it looked good. I think at the start of the season we scored more goals in the latest stages of games than any other team, and then recently we've been conceding, so many goals late on. So it's definitely a worry. Obviously, going off I was a bit emotional on Friday night, and in my reaction, and I told you straight away I think Leeds will win the championship after that game, and. Maybe that is a bit over the top because we did, in the first 80 minutes of the game, we did enough, you'd think, to win that game.
Yeah, you did.
We should have scored, 1 goal was given offside. There's debate whether that was correct or not.
It should have been given. Given.
Yeah, it should have been. And then Daka was passing his usual self. I won't get into that.
We put him in our combined 11, by the way. We need to change that, don't we?
That was only, I mean, what did he have? 10 goal involvements in 10 games or
10
something
games,
at the time.
Yeah,
but
it was in good form,
yeah. So it's a tough one, mate. I'm still split, really. I mean, who do I see Leeds? I see Leeds winning more games than Leicester between now and the end of the season. I do. But you do still have a 6-point gap to make up. Am I worried about third place? I don't think so. Not just yet. I think we should have enough. We definitely should have enough to get it over the line, second place. And it's mad that I'm talking about this because, as you know, mate, cocky or not, all season I said I'm not worried about even winning the title, mate. I'm more worried about breaking the points record, which is a little bit arrogant, but that's how it felt. And
it's proved to be true, mate. Let's be honest, up until recently.
Yeah, exactly. So we've lost 2 games on the bounce before. Funny enough, that was Leeds and Middlesbrough, actually. So we know that we have enough to now go on a 12-game winning streak. If it's doable. I don't think we will. It's definitely doable to go on a 12-game unbeaten run, and we can still do that. So I'm not writing off the title to Leeds. I do think Leeds might pip us to it, but I'm not writing us off.
I mean, if we did win the title from where we were at, honestly, Farkas are gone.
It's weird though, mate, because people keep saying to me, "Is it a bottle?" And it feels wrong to say it's a bottle because of how it feels. It is more to do with how good Leeds have been. It's crazy.
If you scored 95 points and don't win the title, you've bottled nothing.
Yeah, fair.
Well, yeah. But
that's true.
That's it, Ben, mate. I think 95 points probably won't be enough, will it?
I'll still call you a bottle job, mind. Ben's right, but I still will call you a bottle job.
I know you will, mate. I know you. Don't worry. But
Sheffield Wednesday got 96 in our League One last year, and we got 98, and Plymouth got 101, and they had to go to 120 minutes of the playoffs. So and you just hold your hands up and you say, fair dues to the ones who got 98 and 101.
Yeah, so true. Liam, do you think Leicester fans should be worried? I mean, even as a Leeds fan, okay, title, but I don't see them dropping out of the top 2. Do you?
No, I don't see him dropping out. But I mean, there's always going to be a bit of worry, isn't there? I think Leeds fans could be worried if they lost 2 games in a row, or it happens to every team. Not every team's going to be perfect. Like when we were 25 unbeaten, it was just. It kept going every game we're going to get beat this game, we're going to get beat this game. I mean, you always have that in the back of your mind. That's why the Championship's so good, because any team can like Ipswich or Rotherham. And I mean, at one point, obviously, we lost to Millwall. Huddersfield were beating us 2-0 at half-time. We won 5-3. Every game in the Championship is never easy. 100%. And I mean, Leicester, I don't know who they've got in their next. I know they've got a few tough games Hull away, and I think a few other sides
Sunderland away as well. I think that's
we've got Sunderland, Hull, Saints, and Norwich across 5 games.
Exactly. So, and we've got to play all 3 of you boys away from home. So it's you just never know what's going to happen in the league. So us being 5 points behind now, I look at it and think, I'll set up for playoffs, but maybe in 6 games' time we're 2 or 3 points ahead of you boys. You just don't know what's going to happen. So you just got to kind of keep on going.
Yeah, and I think you're right as well. And the reason I say that is because the bottom end of the Championship gets it's like in the relegation scrap, right? So they're throwing everything at it as well. And I think this weekend, 6 of the bottom 8 won. So that shows you how...
QPR and Sheffield Wednesday are both in the top 10 of the form table.
Yeah, it's mad. So it just shows you when it counts.
Yeah. Joe, you've got... Stoke next, in
we've got Huddersfield, mate, then Stoke, then Millwall.
Stoke's 3 points at the moment, Joe.
see, you look at those games, you think, look, we need to get 9 points there, but these boys are fighting for their lives down there. Yep. Stoke are in the relegation zone now, and they need the 3 points more than anybody. They're going to come and give you a game. I mean, Sheffield Wednesday, their home form at the moment is ridiculous. And they're still in the bottom 3.
We've got to play them actually next Friday. We've got to play them next Friday. Actually, we've got Huddersfield.
You've got 2. You've got 2 Yorkshire derbies away from home. Should be an easy 6 points. You could easily walk away from that with 0. You think?
Oh, don't say that.
How's that happen? No, exactly. But it's like anything. Leicester play QPR on Saturday. QPR on a hell of a form at the moment. Why can't Leicester lose 3 in a row? I don't know if Ipswich have got and. I mean, we've got Birmingham next Saturday, and obviously they need the wins. We can lose 3 in a row. You just don't know what's going to happen. You got to take it game by game with the Championship.
100%.
That's the thing.
Yeah, I agree with you, mate. It's one of them leagues. Just coming towards the end, and we'll come to you, Ben. Who from this top four? And listen, it's hypothetical because two might miss out, right? Because two are going to end up in the playoffs, and they both might balls it up. But let's say one of us actually wins the playoffs, right? Who that is, I don't know. But who now, if you're a betting man, Ben, who's going to miss out? Which team out of these four will miss out on promotion to the Premier League?
Right, I'm going to quickly give you 7 different answers to that question, and there's only 4 teams, so I'll do well at that. Look, for Leicester to not win the title now will either mean a really astonishing collapse, which with that squad we don't expect, or Leeds are going to do something like 14 wins in 15 games. As you've said, they would deserve the title if they did that anyway. So I think Leicester, and I'm stating the bleeding obvious because they got 2.29 points per game and 78 on the board already. You'd imagine Leicester are going to take one of those places. If you do it on squad quality, obviously Ipswich are going to miss out. We all get that, but we like to think that McKenna might be the X factor. And in a 90-minute game, I don't know, but in a 180-minute game against one of the big boys, although that probably won't be the case if it's third vs fourth, because you'd have to play them in the final, wouldn't you? Yeah. It's so difficult to say. What I will say is I'm a militant ranter against people who try and say the playoffs are a lottery. That's complete and utter nonsense. If you look at the stats, third disproportionately beats sixth, fourth and fifth is quite close. So my argument is, if you do get third and fourth, Joe, over 90 points, that's probably going to be the playoff final. Even if you get a so-and-so like Corberon or Robbins in the semis, you would just think, regardless of all this, I know you make the point of psychologically, you then, but the top four is just miles better than everybody else, isn't it, this season? So I'm not answering your question, am I? Leicester.
No. Give me the name. Give me the name.
Well, look, it would be Ipswich would be the most likely to miss out because they're punching so far above their weight. And, you know, we can't bring in Pat Bamford at an hour, who's an England international. And
he's not. He's not. He's played one game, Ben.
I can show you pictures of him in an England shirt. Look, for goodness sake, you all signed strikers for Pirro for 10 million, Cannon for 8 million, Stewart for 9 million. Southampton don't even use Stewart because he got injured. Pirro got dropped, didn't he? Cannon's third choice, probably. It's just a complete mismatch.
You have got Kiefer Moore though, and I'd have taken him, and he's scored some goals.
Kiefer Moore's fantastic, but unlike Jorginho Ruta, he didn't cost 35 million euros. Do you know what I mean?
So, here we go.
Here we go.
How much was? I'm trying to think. How much was?
You won't win this game.
How much was Clark? I like
Harry
Clark.
1.5 million.
Okay, so he was more expensive than Somerville.
Yeah, but you don't win that game when you've got £35 million players.
I'm just saying, though. I'm just saying.
What salary does he get? Look, everybody knows there's no way you can argue with a sane mind. I know football fans can behave like cult members rather than football fans sometimes. There's no way you can argue that Leicester, Southampton and Leeds just don't have the best squads in the division by miles. Maybe looking at Leicester's balance across the whole squad and Leeds' attacking roster as well. And there's a reason, 22 undefeated, 9 wins on the trot to October and 9 wins on the trot at the moment. There's a reason for that. So it would be amazing if Ipswich could get guys. I think maybe the thing for Ipswich is you hope Ken Corberon knock one of them out in the semi-final and you get them in the final or something. But then West Brom have been really good against us as well. So I'll let the other guys speak. Sorry.
Yeah, no worries. Locks, I'll come to you, mate. Who's missing out from this top four?
I don't know. I'll say Ipswich, and I won't need to repeat basically everything that Ben just said. So
you're copping out. You're copping out.
Well, I can't. My head says Ipswich. If I'm thinking about it, it has to be Ipswich. But I do fancy. I do fancy Southampton to maybe drop out as well, and potentially finish fourth out of us four.
Look, can I just quickly dive in? In a 180-minute playoff semi, Ipswich will score at least 3 goals. It's just, are they going to have, awful defensive problems that they've had. So you never know.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I know what you're saying about, third, statistically, third outbeat sixth all the time, majority of the time. But, a playoff final, Ipswich, Southampton, that will be a cracking game. And, when it comes down to that 90 minutes, you never know, mate, as well. Yeah, Ipswich might just top that one. So, and that would be a headlock, I think, from Russell Martin. So yeah, my head, I know it's sitting on the fence a little bit, but my head says Ipswich miss out, but my heart says Southampton, I think, mate.
My mate sent me a thing the other day and predicted that it'll be a Norwich Ipswich playoff final.
I wouldn't even go.
That would be amazing, though.
I just wouldn't bother with that.
That would be good. A lot of love for Benjamin and the folks in the chat as well. Make sure you check out the channel.
So.
Yeah. Liam, let's come to you, mate, because I'm surprised them two have said Ipswich, because I'm going to let you into a little secret, and I think it might be you. Just because I'm expecting this run to continue. I think, listen, I might be wrong, but I just think for you to go undefeated as many games as you did, and I don't know if the players will be like going, listen, I'm not a psychologist, but I'd be like, we've gone all these games unbeaten and he's coming at us like that and calling us out in the media and behaving like an idiot and all this, and I just think the pressure's got to him. Please don't take that personal. I know you want to put me right on that. But who misses out for you out of the four?
I've already got my top six in my head already, and I already know it's going up. I've said Leeds going to win the league now. Leicester second, third, Ipswich fourth, Hull fifth, West Brom sixth. Then
I'll take Hull in the playoffs.
Then I think Hull will beat Saints in the final. I think Hull will go up.
Oh, wow.
So
two are missing out, yeah?
They're the best side to come to St Mary's this season, trust me. That Rosenior has them in that mentality. I mean, I think obviously they'll struggle because obviously they'll lose a lot of their lone players, but I mean they just outclass us in every way, and I think it's going to get to us in Ipswich because all these like West Brom and Hull have gone under the radar, and they'll keep being like that. And when it comes to those games, I think they'll edge it because there's no pressure on them at all.
It'll be interesting.
Nothing.
There you go. There you have it, folks. I hope you enjoyed the chat. Basically, no one said Leeds United, so you might as well just sign us off now. We're getting promoted. That's the main thing. Flying. Chelsea on Wednesday, beat them in the FA Cup, get Poch sacked, and then
I'd be an advocate of both Leeds and Southampton winning in the FA Cup just to add another midweek game
make it a Leeds Saints FA Cup final.
I'll take it.
Yeah, for sure. Although to be fair, we found this is actually a worry because today in the presser, Bamford, Rutter, Somerville, and James all have knocks after the game.
So you're just down to £315 million
now, are you? Nonto wasn't even a million. Let me just put that out.
He's in Italy international. He's a brilliant player.
But he wasn't even in the millions. So, you keep mentioning these players.
Yeah.
Anyway, I just think that's saltiness.
I think you're not going to win, mate.
I mean, to be honest, I keep getting told that Leeds have this £400 million squad when actually, according to Transfermarkt, when they were signed, it's only 81 million. Isn't too bad, is it? And 26.
I would trust Transfermarkt on transfer fees as much as I would trust a football player appealing for a throw-in, Joe.
There you go, then. There you go. Listen, do subscribe to these amazing content creators. Please do go check them out. Liam, I know we do work on 12th Man. Is there anything popping off from your side? Have you got anything in the offing?
No, I literally just more Twitter at the moment. I haven't really got the YouTube going, but maybe it might come back at one point. Hopefully, a few of us might be on the old 12 Man podcast next year.
Yes,
but basically just follow my Twitter. I do obviously a lot of Saints, but I'm obviously a lot of other games as well, where I try to keep a level head. But thank you for having me on, Joe. Really appreciate that. Great show, boys.
Yeah, no, it's a pleasure, mate. Thank you for coming on. As I say, hopefully I'll see you on the 12th Man next season. Locks, Leicester City Fan TV. I did watch your post-match reaction. It was depressing for you guys, fun for me to watch. Is there anything on the offing at your end, mate? Any shows coming up that people will want to watch?
There was one tonight actually, but I didn't tell anyone about that because I thought, keep everyone here, not like anyone was switch sides anyway. But no, I'm live on Thursday night. There'll be a watch along of some kind tomorrow for the FA Cup game.
Who have you got in the FA Cup? Sorry,
we got Bournemouth, mate. But Enzo Maresca's already come out this afternoon and said it will be 11 changes from the Leeds game. So I think. If we were still 17 points clear of Leeds, we probably would have had a full strength team maybe to see how we fare against Bournemouth. But obviously that's not going to happen now. Keep them fresh for the league. So yeah, and then I'll be live on Thursday over there as well, mate. So
good stuff.
So, yeah.
Good stuff. And then just finally, Ben, everyone knows your stuff, but have you got anything in the offing? Have you got any FA Cup watch-alongs over the next few days? What's the script?
Sam Parkin was indisposed today due to childcare issues. So we're recording the Championship Check-In podcast tomorrow. So that will be out and we'll talk about everyone's club here tomorrow. And if I can tease, I've done a little bit of a look at the running with some data. Hence, I was very poised with all my facts on who was playing who, because I wrote 1,000 words on it today. So yeah, Benjamin Bloom Football Channel, Championship Check-In podcast, and all of that good stuff. And yeah, thank you to all the Leeds fans, because whenever I'm on Joe's show, we get a few. I
love it.
More than a few, actually. Speaking of cults rather than fan bases, yeah, more than a few come across here. A good old fun lot. So yeah, thank you very much, and thank you to the lads as well for their input.
Yeah, no, it's totally fine, and I love having you on, mate. You're great, and I like watching your stuff as well, if I do say so myself. So there you go. Top man is Mr. Bloom, as my good friend Chris Crowley says, who's been ignoring my WhatsApps for a couple of weeks now. So I'm going to call you out and say, reply to my WhatsApps. We want you on the final word, my man. Stop. Put the golf club down. Yeah, you're not Rory Mack. And come on my shows, okay? We shall leave it there. There is a redirect as well, folks. Footy Judge Moore's just asked me. He's doing a show straight after this. Don't adjust your TV sets. You'll go straight on over there. I'll come and join you in the chat. So I want to see in the chat Just Joe Raid. Show the love to them. So go on over. Make sure you subscribe and follow people who've been on this video tonight. I will be live in the morning at 12 as well with Matisse. From the top six, and obviously Matisse Armani, his YouTube channel, discussing the Chelsea game. So make sure you join us for that. All eyes on Chelsea now after what was a great weekend for Leeds in the Championship, and for Ipswich as well, you could say. So few more games yet to go. So yeah, let's get locked and loaded and make sure you follow all these in that process, and we'll leave it there because I'm rambling.